As soon as I couldn't take any more smoke in, a sense of heaviness swept my body. All I wanted to do was lie down, which I did, on the mattress with my comfortable pillow, pulled the blanket over me and just relaxed. Incredible psychedelic patterns started to form. There is no form. Nothing is well defined. Instead, everything is morphing into something new. Colors and shapes are constantly changing, and this is the only describable characteristic of the visuals. My body is completely relaxed and I don't feel that I'm in it. From the fractals and psychedelia, I can see a figure. It has a head, arms, and legs. It knows that I'm present and it looks at me. His face is not human. He's wearing a gas mask and his look reminds me of the movie Predator, but he's wearing these headphones too. The alien starts moving his arms in the same frequency as the movement of the background shapes, as if he was dancing to it. He stares at me, coming closer to me, but moves backwards again when he moves his arms and points to the side as if he's telling me to look to the right. The background shape started to merge into a gradient of yellow, orange, and red. I look to the right, but I notice I'm floating and I don't have a body. I see a book that's turning pages on its own. I hover over the book as the pages turn to stop at a particular page where I could see a city. I hovered over the page, flying through it, as if the book is a portal or a gate to the city. The city is purely golden, and it looked like Manhattan or a place with lots of high-rises. There's no details or texture. Everything is defined by the contrast in the gradient between the yellow, orange, and red. I can see people walking and their body resembles the souls from the movie Cocoon from the 90s. I notice that as soon as I'm in the city, hundreds of beings acknowledge my presence there, but continue walking or doing what they were doing. I can see an entire civilization as I fly higher above the buildings. This knowing comes in telling me that this is Zion, a city in the future. I get emotional and I decide to open my eyes. Patterns and shapes merge with shapes in the room as if they were in the same place. The mandala is moving and morphing its design. I close my eyes and the patterns are stronger, so I stay there, just watching its beauty. When I open my eyes, the room becomes clearer. I try to move my body and the patterns start to dissolve. I can notice the details of the room, which are quickly getting more defined. I try to remain with my eyes shut, but things are not as clear. Physical reality is stronger. I sit up and decide to share my experience with my friends. I have had other experiences where I saw lots of psychedelic patterns, but I had never been welcomed or hosted by another being in hyperspace. It took me some time to stop thinking about it. I wanted to go back there and I tried other times, but no one showed up. Just the psychedelia, which is beautiful to watch. This was one of the most profound experiences in my life. I am confident there is another realm of existence where beings are living a non-biological life. It has been nearly 3 years since this experience, but if I close my eyes, I can still see the images from that place and the alien that welcomed me just as much as I can recall any other memory. I've been practicing astral projection and experiencing unwanted travel on and off for about a little bit over a decade. I'm looking for other people who have visited the higher levels of the astral plane. I had an experience a few years ago with visiting a high vibration layer of the astral plane that left me in awe and had me thinking about the experience even years after it. In previous years of astral traveling, I would always end up in the low vibration or somewhere in between. But one night while APing, I came into contact with this entity in the lower vibrations. It didn't talk, but its presence gave me a sense of comfort and trust, and I went with it. Next thing you know, I'm flying high up into the sky and going through different levels of the astral plane. I had been used to the lower levels, having regularly visited it for years, and so all of this was completely foreign to me. This flying entity then brought me to what I knew was the high vibrations. The clouds and colors were bright, and there was a general sense of a good atmosphere. We flew over this huge wall with what felt like was miles high, and over the wall was the Golden City. I'm not sure if it has a name, but I'm calling it the Golden City because everything was gold. All the walls and buildings were gold. The best way I could describe it was like an old medieval time city from the Middle East, but all the structures were made out of gold, including the footpath. When I first arrived, everyone there was happy, and there was a feeling of home and comfort. People were also cheerful. They were laughing, clapping, and dancing around. One guy was juggling balls while others watched in complete bliss and appreciation. There weren't any words exchanged, except these people would talk through feelings. It was just such a positive atmosphere, and in all honesty, I felt down when I left. I remember before coming back to my body was seeing this water fountain in the middle of the city. I was trying out the Hemisync Gateway experience. I wasn't really in a hypnagogic state, but my body was relaxed, and though my mind was awake, I could see a place. It was like a throne room. Everything was made of gold. The thrones, flooring, even the guards were wearing gold pieces in their armor and weapons. And there was this beautiful queen, even though in my mind it seemed like a king, just looking at me. Besides him is another figure. It's a female figure, but looks really blurry. I tried asking them who they are and what that place is, and where is this kingdom, but I don't really get an answer, I think. Anyway, the throne room was also surrounded by clouds. It made it seem like it's floating or something, and it has this sci-fi-like theme going on in the throne room. Even the thrones, they didn't look like ordinary thrones. This place gave another planet or another dimension kind of feel though, like it's a place that doesn't exist in this planet, even in this planet's higher vibrational planes. I'm planning to explore this again tonight. What an awesome trip report, okay? So, look, this one really sent me down quite the rabbit hole. This one was really, really exciting to really dig into. Why? Well, first I have to say that I totally believe that DMT is a spiritual experience. Having experienced myself, reading other numerous trip reports, for sure, I don't think it's just hallucinations in the mind. I think DMT facilitates a shift in consciousness, which makes you aware or tuned in, you could say, to other types of information. There's more information that exists more than our five senses. Anyway, with that said, some of that information that we come across has form, has shape, has structure, has intelligence. We'd call these entities or non-human intelligence. But I think what happens oftentimes is we overlook, like, well, crap, if we're going to accept that these entities exist on their own, why wouldn't we say the same thing about a location? We often focus on who or what is in the trip, but what about where? What if these places were actual places, and this golden city that they all talk about in this trip reports, it sounds like one of those places. You see, we have a DMT user, an astral projector, and somebody meditating with the gateway experience, all three of them seeing this magnificent golden city. All three of them, what do they have in common? Altered states of consciousness. It's starting to seem like this place might actually be a place. But if it is a place, where is it? What is it? Does it have a name? If you're coming from a Christian background, okay, this place with its gold and splendor and the footpaths, even made of gold, is going to sound a lot like New Jerusalem, like the user reported, like Zion. Yes, heaven. If you're coming from a Kabbalistic background, this place is going to sound like the sixth sphere, okay, that of Tiphereth. And if you're coming from a Hindu background, a Vedic Hindu background, this place is going to sound a lot like a city in Indraloka called Amaravati, a place of enormous beauty where immortals and gods live. Mind you, across all three, that's what they share in common: a city of gold, a city of splendor and beauty, material pleasure, okay? A place semi-physical in nature. One of the wild things I learned about the place is that even though it's equivalent to Christian heaven, it's not the end. Beyond heaven. What the hell could that be? Anyway, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I really hoped you liked this video, and well, hello, traveler. I see you've decided to take a break from the simulation. I'd like to be the first to welcome you to base reality. I welcome you to the void. So what is the void? People call it many things, but honestly, the void is just a place where I show you different AI videos that I made because, I mean, you're already here at the end of my video, so why not? Anyway, like I said, yes, welcome to the void. Today's first movie, this is pretty much a 1950s styled DMT trip. I thought to myself, okay, if I'm gonna make DMT the movie in the 1950s, what is it gonna look like? How am I going to express these wild fractals and mosaic shapes with the available technology of the 1950s? So without further delay, here it is, an AI short film, DMT, the movie.
I'm here to tell you that it is real. There is a doorway into another dimension. Aladdin's lamp is real. Fairyland is real. Magic is real in the most real sense. In the same sense that what we call reality is real. And I learned this through this compound, the quintessence, the orange thing. What arrests my attention is the fact that this space is inhabited, that the immediate impression as you break into it is there is a cheer. The gnomes have learned a new way to say who.